I do now is stick around, dick around. Every day, every day, every day. Every night, every night, every night. Every day, every day, every day, every day, every day. Every night, every night, every night, every night, every night.
Okay, welcome to Dicking Around, a show about Sparks. Today we are gonna be reviewing Kimono My House, arguably their greatest LP. And today we have a special guest, actor, improvisationalist. Is that the word? Improv guy, acting coach, acting teacher. You know him from Punch Drunk Love, Mr. Jim Smooth Stevens.
So by
In the house.
so by special guest, is that like special? Like I mean, what did you just say to about me?
I think we all share that distinction.
I don't think any of us have been in a P.T. Anderson movie.
I have.
You
Yeah, I have.
you have.
I've also been in I've also been in a Steven
dude, you're full
Seagal
of
movie.
shit.
So bring it.
No, dude. You're full of shit. Hold on.
Okay.
Wait.
Wait.
Let's get something clear.
Okay, wait.
Time out.
Okay, wait. Punch Drunk Love.
Yep.
ATM scene. Cut to your crazed face.
Well, if you want to, we'll do this real quick. So if you want to know if you want to watch it again, a fun little thing. Paul and I got along great.
Yes.
For some reason, he liked at that time. That's what I look like. What I was wearing is what everything that's on my wardrobe was what I was wearing when I met Paul. He says that's what you're wearing and through the whole movie. And so for some reason, if you notice, anytime that we're in a scene, I'm either the last one that leaves, I'm the first one they start on.
Excellent. Oh, yeah. Okay.
All right.
And
Let's
I
put it
don't-
up. Let's.
So for the three of you that saw the movie, thank you for the residuals.
Links will be provided. 3. There's a lot more than 3.
Yeah.
That cut and that pull back.
How many times we did that? Paul's a crazy dude. He loves it, but
He's a Kubrick.
he just does it more, and the retakes and retakes and retakes.
Dude, you know you're legit when you call him Paul and the rest of us just call him PT.
PT. well, my buddy Paul had a birthday yesterday. He's 48, I think? Question mark. But no, it was
PT's younger than I am.
yeah. That's
I'm
what
an
I
old
kept
man.
thinking. That's what I kept thinking. Now when I say how old he is now, and I didn't at the time process how old he was, because since then now I direct and write and produce my own films, and so I didn't realize that was making that movie Punch Drunk Love, and now I'm 42 and he was in his 30s.
Yeah.
And, are you kidding me?
It's crazy. So there we go. Actor, writer, producer, in addition to everything that's been said. Actor,
So-
writer, producer.
When I
Still got an ex-wife.
I saw Punch Drunk before I met you, and I remember thinking, who is this guy? And I had no idea you are a Utah native, and you grew up with my cousin Matt. Cousin Matt from episode 2. Say hi.
Hey, welcome, Ted.
I didn't know you guys were cousins.
Yes, we are cousins.
This is a fantastic discovery.
Can you believe it? In Utah, white, Scandinavian, and cousins.
So do you think the Utah Jazz are going to get behind a white athlete from Duke? Do you think that's going to work out okay?
that one guy that kind of looks like a poor man's Jeremy Renner, that guy?
That guy.
Okay, I have to check out because you guys are talking about sports.
It's fine.
All right.
He's actually not going to play for the Jazz till 2020 because he's got to finish his 2-year LDS mission. But when he gets back,
All right.
anyways, Thurber's my boy. I don't.
Sick.
Yeah, so this is kind of a bit of a reunion for you guys. You grew up together.
And he didn't go to the reunion.
No.
Shame on
no,
you. Wait, I've never
Becky
been to any
Diaz-Avedo
of
was
mine.
there.
I've seen her at the piano bar.
Keys on Main.
Keys on Main.
She's awesome. She's
$80
actually
for a song. But
Who's
no,
this?
Becky Diaz-Avedo of the Diaz-Avedo fame. Alex Diaz-Avedo did the Saturday's Warrior soundtrack.
Oh, no.
You remember
Like the
Saturday's
Descendant.
Warrior, do you
So
not?
Yes.
the girl that everybody was like, yeah. So she's, but yeah, she was there.
She really that I mean I should have gone, but I wasn't really I was friends with like one or two people. So.
I was your friend. What did you go to Bonneville too?
Yeah.
So we went to school together basically for 6 straight years.
Yeah.
And we never had a conflict. We always got along.
No, Jim's the kind of guy that like
we never threw down with each other.
We would be friends like if we during school we were friends like, hey, what's up?
What's up, man?
But it's not like we'd hang out. So that's kind of like with Andy Jackman. Like I wouldn't hang out with him, but friendly. Or if I ran into him on a bender at 2 o'clock, exactly.
Well, like we were talking before we started recording, I said, because he was saying, I thought that you just were friends with everyone and you were like, the player and hanging out. And I'm like, no, my father would never allow that. I never, that's why I was on every sports team I could, because that's the only way I get out of the house. That's why I got my Eagle Scout at 15, because it was like, if I could go to a scout camp, if I could get out of the house and I didn't have to, do church stuff, or I didn't have to, pick weeds because Dad didn't like what shirt I was wearing today.
Jesus, that sounds like abuse.
And so, so we went through 6 years of school and we always were cool, but I didn't hang out with anybody. I still don't hang out with anybody.
That's how we rolled, man.
We're still nerds.
I was a loner.
You are a loner.
Rebel.
Yeah. I think that goes to my personality. I choose to be a loner. So when we were going back and forth about you appearing on the show, Jim, I think I wrote to you and said, do you know about Sparks?
No idea.
No idea.
You mean the NBA women's basketball team?
The one with Leslie, what's her name? The one that had one slam dunk, and that's the greatest WNBA
we got next.
highlight ever.
Dude, we got next.
Which means nobody's going to be watching. But
we got next.
So,
No idea.
Yeah. I'm looking for, guests on the podcast, maybe some people that have some amount of connection with the community of the what am I trying to say?
The outside world, outside of your house.
Someone that could help us boost our numbers, boost our listenership.
I can guarantee you they'll at least listen to the first 89 seconds before they lose. Their attention span just jumps off.
we're not looking at the insights. I don't know what we're doing.
Yeah. But
But I had no idea about this. I had no idea who they were.
thank you so much for coming onto the show.
Are you kidding me?
And I think that
The money was so worth it.
I think that the fact that you don't know about Sparks is a good thing. We're going to be reviewing Kimono My House, like I said, and a fresh set of ears would be nice for this episode. Yeah.
Not only my fresh ears, the entire office.
Tell me,
Yeah, they're gonna have to deal with it.
you were doing some research in your office.
You're dang right. It's my time.
You're gonna have some explaining to do, but
Well, they were just
that's what this is for.
Because I also like Die Antwoord a lot.
Yeah.
And so a lot of times I'll get, are you listening to Chipmunks Humping? And I'm like, no. This is a brilliant band from South Africa. And I say it with my pinky up. And so to be told about a band that I don't know about and has been recording for 40-something years
Close to 50-ish.
and still putting stuff out
Still
and getting sought after by the names that want to record with them. And I'm like, I feel like an asshole. How did I not ever heard of this band?
Well, that's exactly what we said.
Yeah, that's the impetus
years
for
ago.
this show.
Yeah.
Why didn't I know?
Why didn't I know?
I thought I was in the know,
I
and
thought I
we
was
were
hip.
in the know. But I mean, the world's a big place, and
Just like Thurber thought I was popular. He was not in the know. Still not popular. I've done a Steven Seagal movie,
wait
that's
a
all.
second. If we look at the movie Wicked, the line is, if you want to be popular, you got to be good in sports. And you're saying that you were in all the sports possible.
Yes.
So by that definition, you were popular. And in
Yes.
my eyes,
Yes,
you
I
had
was.
cred.
I was very
I
talented.
thought he was the pussy slayer. I thought I was the only one jerking off in socks.
I got
and on a
asked.
towel.
I got asked on 2 women preference dates in the 3 years of Cottonwood. Two times. And so I went to junior prom and I asked a few other girls to, but then I'm like, if nobody's asking me to any of these girl press, like I'm like the way that I internalize things, I'll write a script about it later when I'm crying in the cupboard, but they don't want to take me out. So why would I put them with that dilemma of saying, oh, I was hoping Johnny asked me. Oh.
It's one of those things.
So I stopped going.
It's one of those things that we say over and over. If I only knew then what I know now, if we could rewind back to high school, and this applies to music. This applies
I would be
to
listening
Sparks.
to the
Why
Sparks.
was I not listening to Sparks in 1990?
Well, because the WNBA hadn't started yet.
Oh, yeah, exactly.
Well, I got my exposure. I'm a little bit older than you guys. I got my exposure in the
He wears
80s.
really big glasses and rocks around a cane. He's old. Holy shit.
But still, there's people out there that trump my exposure to Sparks. There's fans out there that are from the 70s. I had no idea.
Didn't you make America great again, though?
Let me make America great again with the most brilliant segue, Jim
Yes, sir.
and Sparks.
Okay, Sparks.
Degrees of separation.
Oh,
yeah.
like Kevin Bacon?
Yes.
Exactly. That's where it started, but the degrees are a lot fewer than 6.
Can you believe Sci-Fi turned down? They did a TV series. They shot the pilot with Kevin Bacon going back to Patience, Montana, or whatever it is, and they did the whole thing. And Sci-Fi said no, and Kevin Bacon's in it, and Sci-Fi said no.
What?
Dude,
That's why you don't see anything on Sci-Fi anymore.
Google the TV series for Tremors, and I'm sorry, but
Wait, there was a TV Tremors?
They shot a pilot. It was supposed to be for Sci-Fi with Kevin Bacon going back to the original city, and it was going to be a TV series about Tremors in that little shitty town. And Sci-Fi said no. The trailer
That
you
would
can
have been
watch.
huge. That would have been bigger than Stranger Things.
You can watch the trailer now.
Okay, this is territory that we're going to cover in our other show. We don't have a name for it yet.
We don't have a name for it because it will come to us.
It will come to us, but stay tuned. So, degrees of separation. How many do you think it is? Because it's fucking low.
Well,
this is
Kevin
let's
Bacon's
see.
usually 7, right?
Six.
6
Yeah,
degrees.
he's
You get
6.
to Kevin Bacon in 6.
So let's see.
If it's impressive.
Sparks, L.A. Jim, actor, director, writer, producer. I don't know. I'm just gonna say 3.
I'm gonna go with 9.5.
9.5. I think you. I think Matt, you were guessing low on purpose because I set it up to be this low number.
You can do anything. Like,
but yeah,
I think so
yeah,
you,
you,
number,
you
no
are
matter
right.
what.
I one time did a Lifetime, special, episode of Blossom, with someone who walked one of the bassist's dog. I'm gonna guess that's the connection.
Oh no. Okay.
A hint, because
Get
I
ready to
really
get-
don't know other than geographic. Like,
Get
I
ready
don't
to
know.
get your mind blown.
I do like getting blown.
Okay, Jim, Philip Seymour Hoffman,
Yep.
Punch
Good.
Drunk Love, Philip Seymour Hoffman, Helen Hunt, Twister,
Okay.
a young Helen Hunt, and Sparks, 1977 roller coaster.
No.
Yes.
No.
Yes.
Wait a sec. Okay, so we've got Ted on this side of the table,
Yeah.
Jim and I. So we were one. Okay. Roller. Oh, I can't believe this.
Roller
First
coaster.
of all, rest in peace, Philip Seymour Hoffman. Good dude.
Oh, true that.
fuck
Shakespearean and one of the
Good
greats.
dude. And one of the guys that the whole time we were shooting, I learned so much about acting about that dude. He would never talk to us. He would never acknowledge us. He wouldn't talk, the only time I got him to kind of talk to me is I mentioned that I was a wrestler in high school. He was a wrestler in high school, which I may or may not have known. But finally got him to kind of talk to me. But for the rest of the shoot, and we shot for probably 5-6 months, didn't ever say anything but 2 words to us, in and out. And so finally he rapped before we rapped. And so when he rapped, all of a sudden this guy comes over with like a platter of food from craft services. And he's like, oh my gosh, that was so much fun. Can I sit and eat with you? And sits down, and there's this completely pleasant, nice guy who's like, that was just so much fun. You guys are so great. And I finally put it together. I was in my mid-20s at the time. Finally put it together because our characters didn't like each other.
Yeah.
And he was the boss who doesn't hang out with his people. So that's how he treated us for like forever.
So he was acting.
He was all
in
method.
the role.
All the damn
Method
time.
in this bitch.
And I
Holy
never,
shit.
and I was just like blown away when I finally figured that out. And so like every time he'd come back for the Sundance Film Festival, and he'd also come back for the film labs. Every time he'd come back, he'd check in, just be like, "Hey man, everything going okay? How you guys doing? What do you guys like?" I'm like, "Who is this
So
guy?"
you just had to find him out of character.
What a good dude, and I was
That is
I was
so
really
cool.
bummed, and I hate that because like a lot of fickle people, and I don't know, but a few people that I actually like had a moment with and felt like they actually gave a shit about who I was. When I heard that he died, it was like I was heartbreaking, and it's really easy for like everyone who writes about like, oh, rest in peace, Philip Seymour Hoffman. I'm like, that was my friend.
Yeah.
That was my friend.
Sucks, man.
Drugs, but. Either way, what were you saying about Helen Hunt?
It's better to. Roller coaster.
Roller Coaster,
Sparks,
one of
1977.
many disaster flicks in the 70s.
I'm gonna watch it.
Yeah. I actually uploaded all the scenes with Sparks. And Helen Hunt is in the audience, a teenager.
This is crazy.
Yeah,
This is before she jumped out the window, or am I thinking of another actress? Like a made-for-TV special.
Oh yeah,
That's really
Was
your
that Helen
reference.
Hunt?
Who jumped out of the window? That's your...
yeah, an afternoon special.
was it
She,
Helen Hunt?
a
very
It was like
special
that
morality
episode.
tell about taking drugs.
Yeah, if
and
you take drugs, you'll fall to the ground.
It's a very
Like,
special episode of Saved by the Bell. That's how they did it back in the day. It was not it was a very special episode of...
we're gonna link to it, but I don't know anything about roller coaster. I haven't.
I don't know
Roller
anything about it.
coaster. Back then, you had Earthquake, you had Towering Inferno, Poseidon Adventure, Airport, 75, 76, 77, 70, just a bunch of disaster flicks, and Roller Coaster was one of them. I vaguely remember going to see it and didn't know anything about Sparks being in it until I got it off Netflix later in life. But yeah, I had
Did
it
it on Netflix?
I ripped the DVD on Netflix and put it up on YouTube.
Wait, you're a pirate?
Oh
Maybe
yeah,
so
yeah.
that
I was a
skirt,
pirate.
You're a
rip
pirate?
thing,
I
yeah.
was a pirate.
I would never.
I was a
ever-
bootlegger.
I would never ever steal from multi millionaires over a.
Yeah, but I uploaded it on YouTube, and it was on there for several years until it got taken down for copyright.
After Sparks got a little somebody
little
had to have said
privy.
something.
A little privy.
Yeah,
I'll find it.
somebody out there.
I also got in trouble pirating at one point in my life. I would download movies all the time, and there was no problems. And all of a sudden, the internet
FBI.
company came through and said, "Hey, we're getting some activity from your modem," and it was only if you'd like try to download like really big like Star Wars or any other ones. It was fun. I got thousands of movies, and all of a sudden I download the Star Wars trilogy, and they're all like, "Hey, buddy," and I'm all like, "Well, this is preposterous. I was out of town this weekend. Someone is obviously logging onto my
Somebody has
account."
hacked my account.
Well, if it happens again, we'll have to, cancel your service. It will not happen again.
Not on my watch.
Now
Hey.
we go to the library like a normal person.
I bought a ticket to Empire Strikes Back in 1985.
How old are you?
1981. So that entitles me to a download off the
How
internet.
old are you really, though?
I'm an old man.
Well, me and Thurber, I know how old he is. We just turned 27.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm
And a
only
half.
a few years older than you. I must be in my 30s.
Yeah,
No, I am coming up on my 50th.
Ooh.
I can't believe it. I didn't think I'd make it this far.
We should have a 50th show.
We are
There
going
is
to
going to be a 50th special anniversary. The silver show. The silver
show.
It's 50th silver. So my mom, long story short, dad died of cancer, blah, 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 blah. Call mom. Hey, mom, what you doing this weekend? I'm thinking about going to Sacramento. I'm like, oh, yeah, what you going to do in Sacramento? I'm going to hang out with Aunt Carol, and we're going to blah, 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 blah. I'm like, well, why did you decide to go to, Sacramento? Well, this weekend would have been your father and I's 50th anniversary. Oh.
Mom.
Oh. Yeah. I mean, I knew that.
Oh, Mom.
I knew
Mom,
that.
Debbie Downer, Mom.
I knew that. Try to have fun, huh? try to have fun.
Yeah, just have a great time. Enjoy yourself.
Have a good time.
Okay. Here's the point in the show where I get sick of listening. Take two. Here's the point in the show where I get sick of listening to myself talk.
I can do this segment for you. Take 4. So this is the point in the podcast I get tired of listening to myself. So I decided to start a new segment called Matt's Corner.
Are you guys ready for Matt's Corner?
Yes.
Well, let me think. What would be a good segue? How about we talk a little bit about a letter that we recently received from one of the listeners.
Do we have a mailbox? I didn't know this was part of the...
Have you seen this letter, Matt?
I have no, I have not. I'm just
I
opening
just
it right now.
Thrusted it in front of
One
your
of our
face.
interns just send it to him. And was honestly in the mail? We got a letter?
Yeah.
Yeah.
This is like a detailed letter. This isn't. Yeah, it's.
Wow.
This guy, just check this out. So we asked for feedback. We got it. And this is something else, which, in the world of Sparks, I'm thinking of the world, all the 7 continents. Is that right? 7?
They're big in Antarctica.
I do believe the North Pole's breaking apart, so there might be an 8th soon.
Okay. So 7.5, 8 continents.
7.5.
So here we go. I haven't even read this, but here we go. So from a guy named Craig, and he says, "Hey guys, a few things for you. I'm Craig. The same one who won the trivia contest." Oh, that Craig.
That Craig from the last episode.
He's following up.
Yes.
Okay, check this. Okay. Thank you for the iTunes gift card, Craig. You're very welcome.
Yes.
As a matter of fact,
Spend that
I
$380. What was it for? How much? No, I don't mean to.
it was like
18 cents.
$10.
yeah,
okay.
a good
Yeah.
$10. A good
So, do you think he's really thinking? Is he really thinking? I'm sorry. No, it's your turn. Go ahead.
I think Craig. Yeah. Well, you're welcome. You're welcome, Craig, for the iTunes gift card. He continues. As a matter of fact, I did buy Come My House.
Nice.
Wow. With it, as I am newly getting into Sparks 70s material. So I can't believe that.
Yeah.
We told him he could have bought something that he really wanted, but since we told him to buy Sparks, he probably felt a little guilt to buy Sparks.
Is there any chance that he just told you that and actually spent that $10 on a download of
On a crack whore.
Well, it's a gift card, so he there's his options. He probably spent it on Candy Crush. Let's just be honest.
Yeah. Okay.
And that's okay, Craig. I mean, there were no.
Because you can get the other stuff online for free.
Let's see what he says. So he says that he's newly getting into the Sparks 70s material. Great place to start. Okay. Also, to answer your question, I live in Calabasas, California.
Calabasas.
What a prick.
Is that
Sean-
like?
I like to say Calabasas.
Sean Astin lives in Calabasas.
Wait, is this
No
Inland
way.
Empire or SoCal is not my jam? So
That's not
Calabasas.
That is north of Malibu. So yes, it's SoCal, but they don't consider it SoCal because it's north of Hollywood.
Calabasas.
So it's it's BFE. It's Pasadena. It's Glendale.
So there are a lot of like Vince Vaughn lives there. Adele lives there. It's actually a nice area in northern Los Angeles area where they can't afford the properties in Malibu, and so they live in Calabasas.
Oh,
Calabasas.
Gotcha. Okay. Well, that's not a diss to you, Craig. Calabasas, California is very thriving.
Well said.
Okay, Craig, you live in Calabasas. I grew up all over SoCal, so I'm assuming that's Los Angeles, LBC, Huntington Beach, whatever. We get the point. By the beach, listening to K-Rock. Interesting. K-Rock.
K-Rock.
I swear that I've heard that station before, but I don't.
God,
isn't it the classic rock?
did you know Adam Carolla is making a documentary about K-Rock?
Really?
Yes.
Have neither of you lived in Los Angeles?
No,
Oh,
I
sorry,
grew up in Northern Cal.
Okay, so neither of you have made like huge multi-million-dollar movies and lived in Southern California for a while?
No, me, not so
for
much.
4 days.
I'm a bus driver.
I had 8 roommates. I had eight roommates to pay for the bills, but don't judge me. Please continue.
Judge not lest ye be judged.
Yes.
So this K-Rock station. So Adam Carolla, and they played. Okay, so here's what Craig has to say. He said,
Wait. I was gonna say
K-Rock's a big
K-Rock. That it's a big thing. Adam Carolla's making a documentary about them, probably about him and Jimmy Kimmel meeting at K-Rock in the 90s. But I'm crossing my fingers. They will, in the documentary, they will be covering some of the backstory of K-Rock with Sparks. They had a special relationship with K-Rock.
he better. Otherwise, he's missing a huge part. And, even though I don't know much about Los Angeles, I know, living almost 1,000 miles, 800, whatever it is, from LA to Utah. K-Rock, I know Uncle Joe Benson.
About
Yes.
600 miles.
600?
Yeah, it's about 600 miles. So
That's Vegas, isn't Los Angeles?
No,
No,
because it's an 11-hour drive to Los Angeles.
Okay.
It's a 5-hour drive to Las Vegas. So if you're doing, let's say we're only doing 65 miles an hour, how long would it take you to get to Las Vegas?
But you didn't factor in the traffic.
yeah, that's where they get you.
Just so you know. It's
Okay.
about, so you could, if you want to know where something is per hour, you basically, 600 miles, it takes you about 10 to 12 hours to get there. That's how you know how far
They don't
away
go by
Los Angeles.
miles, they go by minutes.
Yeah. Anyways,
Okay.
it's Thurber's Corner. Not
It's Thurber's corner. I'm sorry to.
finish.
I'm sorry.
This is going to be
You
edited.
I'm
have
sorry.
offended Calabasas.
Calabasas.
So, okay, I knew a concubine from Calabasas, but that's a whole other story. So,
Tune in Thursday.
Craig. So he grew up in SoCal. They played Sparks aplenty. One word, aplenty. So, really?
He said a plenty?
Yeah, he
like
said
when
they
That's a
played-
great word.
I think that's when people put a lot as one word, even though your phone tries to separate it.
Yeah.
So you have to touch it saying, stop trying to correct my spelling of a lot, because obviously it's one word, even though your phone's telling you it's 2 words and that you tell it, no, it's one.
Exactly. I'll tell you spell check.
A plenty away.
So it sounds like they played more than one song. I mean, I don't know if this guy was listening late at night at 2 o'clock, but okay, so he says, later in life, in my travels, I became to realize people in other regions of the country knew nothing about them, which is no surprise. That's kind of like part of the reason why we're doing this podcast.
Yeah.
Having not benefited from the presence of such a great station like K-Rock. All right, we get it. You're in SoCal. You were privy to this, and yeah, that's right.
You're hip, Craig.
You are hip, and we're not part of the.
We're country
We're
bumpkins.
not privy.
Yeah, I mean, we're Butch Cassidy country, but yeah, you're right. You're absolutely right. We did not have the benefit.
We admit it.
We did not listen to K-Rock, so it's cool that they played him. I did not know that. So he says, here's the weird thing. You guys are in Salt Lake City. Yes, we are. I lived there when I was in my 20s. That's interesting. I wonder where you went to high
Nice.
school. I loved my stint out there. I worked at Hill Air Force Base. Oh, that's pretty cool.
Yeah.
I wonder if he was like a military.
Was he
civilian?
military or yeah?
He was probably
CIA.
dating
He says.
he was dating someone on base.
Let's see. I skied, hunted, fished, mountain biked up the mountains. Loved it. Yeah, I mean, that's why a lot of people come here, right?
Yeah.
Cool. If I ever hear someone talking trash Utah, I school them immediately. Seriously, I'd like to get back there someday.
I wish you would stop doing that, actually. Because we have enough people moving here. I'm not even kidding.
Yeah, with the whole
like
real estate thing.
I'm done. Like it's great.
Okay.
I did that for a long time.
Yeah.
Bash people going, you don't know what you're talking about because Salt Lake is awesome. And now that it's blowing up
Yeah.
to where it's blowing. Stop telling people this place sucks.
So I guess in a
We
nutshell-
celebrate your enthusiasm for Salt Lake.
Stay out.
Now shut the fuck
Shut
up.
up. we love Trump. We love Trump here. Stay out.
So yeah, don't ever call him a Nazi punk.
Damn right.
You're welcome to come back weekly.
We bleed
Seriously.
red.
Go to Montana.
I voted.
So okay, yeah. If you want to make it back here someday, do it, dude. I mean, you don't want to live here, but
You can
get
stay
it.
on Matt's couch.
Yeah,
Yeah.
dude. You want the couch surfing tour?
It
You've
was
got at
actually
least
good for him
2
because his
stops.
wife can't keep telling him that he has to stay on the couch.
Exactly.
So please come stay on his couch.
It's leather. So he says, before I go too long, let me include one of my favorite activities. Going to the heavy... No way. He mentions going to the heavy
Metal shop?
So, I mean...
Let's
know- well,
Matt, tell us about the heavy metal shop.
Oh, the heavy metal shop is a world-renowned record store founded in Salt Lake. I think it was about 1987.
Yeah, Utah landmark.
Oh,
Salt
yeah.
Lake, yeah.
They, I mean, all the metalheads would come through. There would be in-store signings. There would be
I've never been.
performances. Jim's never been.
I've never been
because he was
to
on the other side of
No,
town.
no, I've never been to the heavy metal store.
Okay, he's never been to the one.
I've never.
in Chi-
I've never been to the heavy metal.
Okay, we got a field trip.
We're gonna
coming up.
bust your Sparks cherry.
I know what it is, and I'm very.
We're
aware
gonna
of what it
bust
is,
your
but-
heavy metal shop cherry.
But I've never been.
Oh,
It's gonna
it's-
happen.
Yeah, you'll see. We'll see what Craig
You know
has
why
to say
I've
about
never
it.
been?
What?
Because I'm not a cool kid.
No.
Because you were very
You-
afraid of.
Yeah,
only the
you
cool-
had to be on. You had to be a social
My-
misfit. You had to be like, what's his name?
When
the
I was in
Rudolph
8th
movie.
grade, I wanted to put a Metallica tapestry on the back of my Levi jacket that had the 22 bullet in the Levi
Damn,
little
a
hole.
22.
Well,
Holy
that's
shit.
what those bad boys did, and my
Boy
father
Scouts.
said no,
No,
and
this
Not to
will
the bullet,
not
to the
be done.
Metallica.
no, he would have been fine if I was doing Metallica. He didn't want me to put a bullet because apparently he said I could shoot my balls off.
Shoot your balls off at the show
I
or a loaded bullet.
I was just saying I want to be a cool kid.
Yeah, Dad.
And so
Everyone.
since then, I honestly like, and I feel bad. I don't mean to ruin your beautiful story from your beautiful friend, but I've honestly never been to the heavy metal store because I've always, been more into the heavy metal scene.
Oh man. Well,
You
are just gonna have to.
like Depeche Mode.
You have to. Yeah, the Cure.
Depeche Mode put out Annihilator.
Did I really make this go down a rabbit hole?
No.
Are you serious?
Depeche
This
Mode.
is fantastic.
Depeche Mode put out Annihilator in response to heavy metal.
No way.
Yes.
I used to sit in my basement listening to my own personal Jesus, and I would dance.
Wait. Were you a cutter?
A cutter. I don't even. What does that mean?
You know the girls listen to Depeche Mode cutters.
Oh
I-
no.
Oh, that's
No, I never cut myself. I've never been that miserable.
wow. I've. All right.
I'm
Okay.
sorry.
Okay.
Sorry,
I've
Matt's
never cut
corner.
my
Matt's corner.
I've never been miserable.
Oh, I thought you were talking about breaking away. Hey, cutters!
Oh, cutters. Known many of those in the day.
cutters.
Depeche Mode, The Cure. If you've been there, if you love them, you are or have been a cutter. But the heavy metal shop. That's
metal
interesting. Serious, they sell records, they sell merch. The guys down. Let's see what Craig says. The guys down there fulfilled all my Slayer needs. Interesting, because I remember in 90s.
So Craig likes Sparks and Slayer?
They must, because they fulfilled his Slayer needs.
Who is this Craig?
He's
like a platonic shadow of the perfection of some kind of person that likes music.
He must be like okay. So he was there.
He had an old moment. An old man's moment. He had an old man's moment.
I had a stroke.
I
had a mini stroke.
Moment.
Come on.
I can't talk after the left side of my mouth.
So he's the guys down there fulfilled my Slayer needs, which, if my mind, I think I remember in '96 that Slayer sold more than 1,000 copies of Divine Intervention at the heavy metal shop.
Yeah.
And Slayer's record label took out an advertisement saying the number of this album's Slayer. Here's what happened. The album sold more than 1,000 copies at the heavy metal shop. So the label of Slayer, I don't know if this was Def Jam or whatever the one was after that, they paid for a 2-page spread advertisement in Billboard or Rolling Stone saying, number of copies sold, heavy metal shop, 1,000. This is before they had digital music and everything. So 1,000 people lined up to get these Slayer albums. Number of copies sold by the LDS Temple, 0. So, yeah, there's some history on that. You can look it up. So,
name one Slayer song.
Rain and Blood.
Seasons in the Abyss.
Okay,
Angel of Death.
Keep going.
Angel of Death. Monarch from the
Self of Heaven. This could go on and on for the whole show. But they probably have more than 120 songs.
Oh, yeah.
They're probably still making albums like the Sparks, and you don't know.
I'm sure there's got to be a goodbye album.
I'll bet you there's a podcast out there just for Slayer going.
Just for Slayer.
Slayer 2018.
Let's take up the
We're
slack.
gonna find. Oh, there's.
Okay, this was supposed to be a short
they're
segment.
all over.
We're now 20 minutes into Thurber's segment.
That's okay.
5, 4, 3, 2. I keep up with the owner Kevin on social media.
Nice.
Oh, I think. Yeah, that's the guy that's always there.
No, yeah, we know Kevin.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
Like I don't. Does anybody else work there? Like he's the only guy I usually see there. I mean, there might be somebody else, but so he says, "Did you know he's a huge Sparks fan?" What?
Cool.
Who isn't?
Wait, I know that Kevin likes like Alice Cooper and stuff like outside of Slayer, but
Yeah.
Sparks?
Yes.
The WNBA.
How-
Yeah, I've talked to Kevin about Sparks. Craig, yes, I know Kevin. I've talked to him. The cool thing about Kevin, okay, heavy metal is heavy metal. I'm talking about 70s. I'm talking about syrupy, groove-oriented.
I lost 2 of my fingers, so this is the only way I could play this song.
Reference to Iommi Stubbs.
Yes!
Metal changes.
Yes! Yeah, I'm talking about the fusion of the blues and psychedelic rock. Heavy metal. I would contend that is the greatest subgenre of rock and roll in existence. Sorry, that's just what I'm gonna say.
Mic drop out.
And I'm sure Kevin would agree. He named his store the Heavy Metal Shop.
Yeah, he knows.
Yeah. But at the same time, he makes no bones about being a fan of Sparks, a fan of Drive-By Truckers,
Bon Jovi.
Maybe not.
This can't be the
but yeah, New York Dolls.
He was so good.
Cheap Trick.
He was so good in that Bill Murray movie. He was. What was that? The one where he was the cabbie in Bill Murray's.
Oh
yeah.
New York Dolls.
Johansen.
Jake Johannsen. I had the opportunity.
Damn it! No, it wasn't.
It was
not Scrooge. It's the other one.
Scrooge.
No,
Scrooge.
Was it Scrooge?
Yeah.
Scrooge. Yeah.
I mean, it's Scrooge.
Yeah.
I didn't mean to bring us
Dave
down this rabbit hole.
Johansen.
Please finish the letter.
Oh, yeah, we're almost so okay. So I didn't know that because, growing up, I thought heavy metal shop was nothing but Slayer. I remember seeing some like scary albums from bands like Cum Dumpster, Dwarfs, like all sorts of crazy shit. So is there any chance you could get him on your show, Craig? Yeah, I mean, Ted said that, like, yeah, I mean, I recognize Kevin from going in there, and so Ted, I mean, if you go in there enough, I'm sure if he truly is a Sparks fan, yes, we will get him on this show.
Yes, Craig, great suggestion, and I will send a link to this episode to Kevin, and Kevin, if you're listening, please come on the show, anytime, anywhere.
Please do. I mean, Sparks, I mean...
yeah, I would love to pick his brain about Sparks. He was into them in the 70s, and that fascinates me.
Well, that'll be good. So more to come. Yeah, Craig, we're gonna reach out to Kevin, and more to come on that. No.
They, even though now they say, well, listen to those punk riffs that are coming from them, but but if you listen to them and you tell me that's a punk riff. What?
Yeah, well, apparently there were some punks that got the memo because...
Absolutely.
I don't, like... You hear these subtle things here and there, like what's... Jello from Dead Kennedys, I think, said something about Sparks. Like, yes, I swear, like, I know that he did. Yeah, that just shocks me. I thought he would have been listening to whatever protest music of the time, growing up, Jerry Brown, California, so... Is that true?
Yeah, he in that book back there, Our Band Can Be Your Life. Yeah, he talks about Ron Mill being his musical inspiration, lyrical inspiration.
That is crazy. So,
anyways, but yeah, I just know artists, and I understand, like, as much as you want to feel like you're irrelevant and that you don't care what anyone thinks about you, you can also see, you can take their timeline too, even when you listen to their new music. And it's great that other artists like chase after them to work with them. Like, and when I read about that stuff, I'm like, wow, that's really, really cool. Like, I wish I would have known so much longer ago. I feel like such an idiot. But at the same time, when I play their music in my office, what the hell are you listening to?
yeah.
And so I get that, but at the same time, if you don't for a minute think that they didn't think we're falling behind, and if we want to stay relevant, we need to change. And they've changed with the times. Were they progressive? Did they do things that other people weren't doing? Yes. But at the same time, if you look at their arc of their career, when did they change? They didn't change to electrical pop in 1979 because nobody was listening to them.
Yeah.
No, that's why they were doing disco.
They changed it because nobody was listening to them.
Yeah.
And that's why
I wouldn't have. Like, no, seriously.
Yeah, but okay, so who was your favorite band in high school? That never changed.
R.E.M.
And is still relevant today.
R.E.M.
There's about...
What did R.E.M. have to do?
You'd have to go back to classic rock.
What happened to R.E.M.?
They changed.
They quit. They didn't change. They quit.
Well, wouldn't it be a novelty act? Like...
No, because I can still go see REO Speedwagon.
And we can still go see Night Ranger.
You can still sell out concerts. So why did REM? Great example. I love REM. One of my first CDs I ever bought. Automatic for the People.
Yes.
Great album. But so why did they all of a sudden decide to retire?
Money.
No.
They
were
done.
They're not.
They were done.
They weren't done. Because even if only from their height, half of it. Let's take a half of that. Let's take a half of that. So let's say 50,000 people buy the new REM album in 2018. What do they get paid with?
Bitcoins?
Yeah, that's what I was.
Money.
Some sort of cryptocurrency.
They get paid with money. So
Dollars.
and there's a reason why REO Speedwagon is still touring. Why? They're getting paid, dude.
There's enough people that are ignoramuses. Like I would not go. I would not pay any money. If I was to go free, I would still not enjoy it.
So why did REM quit?
Keep on loving you.
Why did REM quit? So now I've established
AIDS.
I've established that REM quit.
AIDS.
Why
one of them wanted to be a farmer.
Yeah.
Michael Stipe had out-artist himself. He doesn't have anything going on.
Okay.
The other guys,
It's all
don't care.
bullshit.
They're from Georgia.
That's all bullshit. Okay. So
Well, I think that
it's all bullshit.
REM was the four guys, and there was no REM after Bill Berry left.
Yeah, and he didn't want to do it anymore.
Yeah.
He was fine. He had the money.
Yeah.
He didn't want to do it anymore.
It was a different band after Bill Berry.
So why keep doing it?
Yeah.
But don't the masses care about Michael Stipe?
He could release.
I care about
He could
Michael
release an album
Stipe.
next year and sell 5 million of them.
No way.
Yes, he
No.
could.
Hit 5 million downloads? No. Still. Albums? Hell no.
Well, nobody buys albums. I'll give you that.
Yeah, albums are over.
Nobody buys
But
albums.
I guarantee the number.
But,
he may have 5 million views on Facebook,
No.
yeah,
but
Michael
not 5 million
Stipe.
downloads.
Michael Stipe, Mandy Patinkin on Steve Carell singing Good King Wenceslas. That has millions of views. So that's just the reality of...
So my point is Sparks were able to keep evolving. Luckily, they were actually talented enough and creative enough that each time that they changed, they actually kept breaking through to where people were going, okay, they're doing shit that, oh my God, like that's the difference between someone why I bring up an REM. I think the reason why they stopped making albums had nothing to do with anything other than I have enough money, I've padded my pockets, and if I made another album, it would sound just like the last three, and I have nothing left to give.
You make a good
That's
point.
fair enough.
Yeah.
And so I
That
think
is.
between the core of them, they just went, so why are we doing this?
And we can focus on our back catalog and...
Right.
All the stuff that we've missed.
Yeah.
But at the same time...
But Sparks keeps moving
they keep
forward.
and
Yeah.
every time they change, and I
that's
don't
the
bring
exception.
that up to say that they're changing their format in a bad way. I'm saying they are doing it because they see they need to. The difference is from what I've noticed.
the
is,
other bands are resting on their laurels.
they're still
Yeah.
copying.
Yeah.
When they change, they get copied again.
Yeah.
And I didn't even know they were being copied.
Oh God.
Yeah, it's almost blasphemy.
Anyways,
Yeah. They were the first pop duo, and you've got
high falsetto voice.
some kind of band is gonna come into my brain. You've got
High falsetto. Let's see.
West End
Wait.
Girls. What band is it?
Pet Shop Boys.
Western
Yeah,
girls.
you've got West End Girls.
Yeah.
Yeah, you,
Eastern
no.
Animals.
Girls who like boys,
You-
who like boys, who like girls.
Who? Wait, what's the band again?
Pet Shop Boys.
So you got Pet Shop Boys. You've got
We should do a cover
Break
band.
the Chains.
we should do
of- Who's Break the Chains of Love?
We should do a cover band of the Pet Shop Boys and call us the Head Shop Boys. Just be stoned the whole time.
Dude, that would go off.
I'm sorry. What was the next question?
Who did? Together we'll break this chains of love and don't give up. Give up. Don't give up. Give up. Together we'll take our part.
Yeah, that's a terrible song. I don't know who did that.
Okay, so
Let's go through it.
Kimono My House.
1974.
1974. What's going on in 74? Matt, you tell me.
1974. Hunter S. Thompson was on the road with Richard Nixon to write Fear and Loathing,
How do you know this shit?
because that's what was happening in 1974.
He's a space-time traveler.
Or so I've been told. There was a lot going on.
He just came out of the portal from 1974. He's here to report about it.
He had the shitty weed to prove it too.
Matt Thurber from 1974 reporting here. 1974.
1974. More importantly, Europe, England, 1974, because Sparks have expatriated over to England.
Because they bought their albums.
yeah,
did.
England was interested in
Didn't they
Sparks.
get to number 2 on the first song on their on this album that we're speaking of? Didn't they get to number 2? I believe.
Yes.
Amateur Hour, number 2.
Oh no, This Town.
Oh, This Town.
This Town was number 2. Yes.
No, I believe Amateur Hour was.
Really?
I believe Amateur.
Well, regardless, fucking great songs, yeah.
Great songs.
Oh, wait,
great
did I say
albums.
Amateur Hour?
Yes.
I'm just reading. It was actually This Town Ain't Big Enough for the Both of Us.
Yes,
And,
it
the
was
reason why
number
I
2,
was seeing
top of the.
because I was seeing if you would just agree to anything I said, and you both did. No, but actually, This Town Ain't Big Enough for the Both of Us, which opened the album of Kimura,
Kimono.
My House.
Kimono, My House.
And actually, if you want a good time, look at the video.
Oh God, yes.
It is a good time.
Yeah, it's a good time.
It's a great video.
I mean, we forget that people were filming each other back then
Yes.
when we were wee little lads.
Like you do your neighbor.
Exactly.
I do not film my neighbor.
So let me ask, because the chorus line of This Town Ain't Big Enough for the Both of Us.
Yes.
Do you think, because we've talked off radio, off microphone, I'm curious of how they came up with their process, because do you think that is something they came up with first, that chorus line, because it's so specific? Did they find a song that fit around it, or do you think they put it in later because it is so specific? It's like, because it's so odd and bizarre that you can't just listen to a riff that my brother played on the piano and go, I'm thinking about this town ain't big enough for the big of us. Like, no. So, like, where did that come from?
From what I understand, they do music first, lyrics next.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
That's what I've heard from Ron.
And they were watching like westerns.
Like spaghetti westerns.
Yeah,
stuff like
spaghetti
that, yeah.
westerns.
I'm just coming from someone who's just within the last couple of weeks started listening to this band. You're telling me that they took something that creative and that, like, it's so specific the way they sing that chorus line. There's no way that they came like 5 joints later and, shot heroin between my toes, woke up and went, I have it.
I think it came
And
out
it's
of.
not me who's gonna leave.
I think it was seriously spaghetti westerns and nothing but sobriety and being Polish and Jewish.
Okay, can I ask about, because so the brother that actually writes most of the music, from what I've learned,
Ron,
is
yes.
Ron, who is the one who's on the piano, who, if you've ever, please go look at their videos. Please go look at their videos, because this man, if he's not joking, is brilliant. And if he is joking, he's brilliant, because he rocks out the entire time knowing that people are having fun with zero expression on his face.
Deadpan. Yes.
Isn't
my
that
goodness.
genius? I wonder if people are like trying to get him to laugh at the shows because he does not break that look.
Yeah, but could you imagine me? So the three of us, we decided to start a band, and we're all like, okay, no, I think we're onto something here.
Yeah.
I like this, Jim. This is great. Hey, Matt, I'm thinking about, as I play, give no expression, no smiles, no frowns, just literally deadpan. And I'm gonna rock the shit out of that song. You cool with that, Matt?
I'd be like, "What the fuck are you talking about?"
I'm
Nobody's gonna do that.
I'm gonna wear a
Chicks
Chaplin.
won't dig it.
I'm gonna wear a Chaplin stash that people are gonna mistake for a Hitler
You're
stash.
gonna get no pussy look, dude. That
I'll
look
bet
is over, dude. You
Yeah, but
gotta
I'll
be
bet-
like bell bottoms and like
Yeah, but
Spartan
that's
polyester.
But Matt, that's the problem. That's where we missed in high school, because that dude is pulling in all of it.
Oh,
They're all like, "Yep." He takes down that facade once you
he's just,
yeah, he's kind of a badass.
it doesn't come off. He's the same guy you see on stage. I don't know. I mean, I don't know with Ron. I think
yeah.
the thing is, I don't know if he's taking a piss on all of us.
We're
all part
if
of
he
it.
were, if he was in
is.
the room
He is
with us.
He is. That's why they moved to England. That's why they moved back. That's why they keep changing. Luckily, they're smart enough and creative enough that they can keep changing with the movement.
Us, man.
Because
Fool anybody.
you can't take a piss in America.
No, you really can't.
You can only do it in England.
All right, what was song
Amateur
two?
hour.
Amateur hour. Wasn't that a number 2 on the?
Yeah.
No,
it was the
no.
second track. It was the second track.
Yeah, but
Second track.
Didn't get to 2.
And has the same momentum as this town.
Okay, so that's fine. But so I just want to put that out there. I've been listening and trying to study Sparks, and so I listened to a woofer in Tweeter's Clothing.
Clothing, yes.
Clothing, and I got through that one. No one said anything. So I get to Kimono, My House. I'm on the second song. I work in an office building during the day because actors don't make a lot of money when they're not making movies.
Should seriously be recorded.
Yeah.
This track alone is like.
So I'm about 30 seconds in an amateur hour when I was asked, "Hey man, what the hell are you listening to?"
And you said.
I said Sparks. Okay. Like the WNBA team? Nope, they weren't named after that. Completely unaffiliated. It's cool.
It stopped right there.
But amateur hour. Can I? One last thing I will, and then I'll let you guys put in your comments on. You want to know what my favorite thing about this entire album is?
Yes.
Just like beside the point that there are short songs that remind me a lot of punk songs that are very short, quick in, out.
Yeah, punk only a couple years away from
Absolutely,
from this.
and they stole a lot of the riffs. I've been noticing.
Yes.
However, did you notice what they also do with these short songs?
What's that?
They fade out. They don't end. The songs fade out. There is no end to the song because if you notice with Sparks, if the song is called Amateur Hour, you're damn sure at some point in the song they're gonna say Amateur Hour and say it multiple times.
Yeah.
But when the song is over, how does it end?
I never paid attention.
Start paying attention because they don't end.
I will start paying
They will
attention.
fade away.
Why did they fade away?
Because that's what they did back then. There was no end to your song. Now there's a start
and a finish.
Well, you're right because
Yeah,
that
good point.
Think of that
Yeah.
Queen song. What's the we are the champions and we will
Yes.
rock you. Like
There
you
is an
cannot
end.
separate them.
But I want you to go back and, as a new listener, take your notes. I'm not even kidding. 9 out of, what is there, 10 albums, 10 songs, 10
songs.
No, 10 songs. I promise
On
you,
the original
at
release.
least 9 of them, if not all 10 of them, they fade out because there is no end of their song.
Yeah.
It will go on forever. I will continue to sing about my amateur hour.
Forever.
It fades away.
I like it.
And that was a 70s thing.
yeah.
All right. You guys just
Falling in love with myself again.
Falling in love with myself.
Yes. They take it down a notch in the third track.
Yeah.
It's waltzy.
is that what you call it, Waltzy?
Waltzy.
Okay, I thought I actually wrote down if a carnival band had a lead singer.
Yeah, it's got a carny thing to it, but I just
The horse going up and out.
Yeah.
you know the thing is I was so high after amateur hour that falling in love, like, oh man, like I'm still trying to figure out amateur hour because musically I thought it's going. This album, for me it's the lull. There's a lull, and
In
even though it's
amateur hour?
yeah, and
In Falling in Love.
yeah, exactly. I mean, I was so high on
But-
the first 2 songs.
But how could they possibly put something in there that is as energetic as the first 2 tracks? They've got to take it down a notch.
That first song though.
Build.
I mean, like from someone who is about production, making, creating, whether or not, because I'm still on the fence whether or not I'm a fan of Sparks.
Yes.
However, that first song, the creativeness of the chorus line, of the way that they go from playing the music to like that is the difference between, even if I don't like this band, I might be wrong because they are clever. And if I don't like it, it's easy for me to say I don't like it, but for me to say that I can't respect it is wrong. And so when you get to these other, I mean, because one thing we can agree on, right? Every single song title that we go through is going to be discussed in their song.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're not covering lyrics, are we?
Lyrically,
and that's a whole different sphere of fucking brilliance.
Oh yeah. I mean, if you just take it what it, musically, you look at it and it's like, for the amateur, I think it's the great first out. Like nobody's gonna get turned off by this album.
I disagree.
You disagree?
Yeah, because people listen. Because I'm really big fan of like whatever makes you happy makes you happy. If like sitting at home and waking up in the morning and taking a big brick, smashing it in your head over and over makes you happy, then you should be able to do that as long as you can go function in society. If you can go home and shoot heroin, and just shoot it and shoot it and shoot it, but yet you don't affect outside society, then I believe that you should be able to do it. So to say that there's no way no one could respect that, okay, but like who's your least favorite band?
Cliche, but Nickelback. Let's just say
Nickelback.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
I love all bands.
No, you
REO
don't.
Speedwagon, come on.
No, I love REO.
Oh, shit, man.
Who is my
Someone's
least
out there listening to
favorite,
Bieber.
Dead or alive. All
Bon
I
Jovi.
really need to do is find myself and
But someone is out there listening to them.
Somewhere like a neo-Nazi in Belgium or something.
In your
who's listening to You Spin Me Right Round,
baby, right round like a record, baby, right
There
round,
are so
round
many
time.
80 club.
I'm
80s
just-
there's so many 80s clubs in
Really?
Chicago right now. It's 8:35, and they're rocking that.
But
song
I'm not
somewhere.
telling you you're wrong. All I'm telling you is as much as I have my own, like here's my problem. I have since 1999 maybe brought on a handful of bands that I would even listen to and put on my own rotation.
Yeah,
Do you understand how ignorant that is?
yeah.
And so I'm just telling you, you can't say that this, for someone to listen to this song, obviously they're hooked because someone is listening to Bieber.
But what about people back then? People listening to Bowie, T-Rex,
Queen.
Elton John. You know,
On a daily basis, I listen to Ween. I love Ween. There are two. Have you ever seen Ween live? Either of you?
Yes, I have.
No,
I saw-
Definitely no.
I saw
I wanted
Slayer.
to so bad.
I had my birthday, and on the next day, I saw Ween.
There are two shows that Ween put on. Either they're drunk as shit and it's laying on the floor, terrible, what the shit did I just pay for?
Yeah.
Or it's...
Fucking like transcendence.
And so at the same time, when I try to play Ween in the same office that asked me what the hell you listening to, I play Ween and they're like, what the hell are you listening
you can't
to?
describe it because they have a song that sounds like Motorhead. They have
Yes.
hippie songs.
Yes.
They have punk songs. They have
Yes.
metal songs. They have country songs.
Yes.
They have
Yeah.
No, they have country
it's a-
albums.
Yeah, country albums. Which
And so that's what
and
that's the
they're
only
selling
thing.
out Red
That's
Rocks,
the only
too.
thing
Like,
that
they're
I'm
fucking
trying to bring to the
huge.
table here is don't say that there's no way you could listen to this because people buy Bieber.
Yeah,
And
they're called
you want
believers.
to hear the
Believers.
the funniest antidote about Bieber in the world. I do make movies. I get to make movies. It's great, but you don't always make money making movies, so you have to have a day job. My day job, I am a manager of a small trucking company. Every day at 2:30, I put on Bieber Beaver 230, and I make everybody in the office listen to 230 Bieber, even though they hate it, and they yell at me, and they say, "What are you doing?"
You're like, fuck.
First of all, it's my choice,
Yeah.
and second of all,
your prerogative.
the fact that you all hate it brings us together.
I want to come work for you.
It's good. It's good. All right, moving along.
Here in heaven.
Here in heaven. I mean, I don't know what to say about that.
Well, you get thrusted back into the pocket, the kinetic pocket.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's it's easy to get sucked back in. Right?
Yeah.
When I was listening to this album, like for the first couple times, first 3 times, I think Here in Heaven, to sound like Blues Travelers, the hook that brings me back.
Yeah. Love the drumming on this song. The open hi-hat tuts, tuts, on the offbeat. Fucking brilliant. And okay, this is the last time I'm going to bring up the lyrics. Listeners, just go and check out the lyrics because they're brilliant. Okay.
This is the first song on the album that's over 3 minutes.
Really?
Yes.
The other ones have to have clocked in at like 2:58.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely. That's what when I say that they bring in short songs like a punk band.
Yeah.
That's what I mean. Like, not only do they steal their riffs, but if up till Here in Heaven, I believe, is in the 5-minute mark, nothing is less than 3 minutes before that. And there's only 1, possibly 2 songs that are more than 3 minutes for the rest of the album.
Wow.
But I'm a nerd.
No,
They
appreciate
they
your
have
view.
Songs that are like 10 minutes and 32 seconds.
Not
and
on this album, they don't.
Not on this album, they don't.
Track 5, thank God it's not Christmas.
I think there's a new trend that like you have 2 or 3 songs and they're 14:37 each.
Well, this is actually the first out of all the albums. This is the first time I noticed the old fade out. This is the first time I noticed that they were doing it, and that's why since then I noticed that they were doing it a lot. So this is coming from a guy in high school that drove a 1977 Jeep Wagoneer with a 401 big block, and got about 9 miles to the gallon. That had an 8-track player. And we had an 8-track player to tape adapter plugged in to the 8-track player. And then in the tape adapter, we had a CD to CD adapter. And it stuck out probably a good 8 inches by this point. And then before they even had the skip play on the CDs, you'd have it on the 1977 Jeep Wagoneers, right there on the straight bench. And it would skip all the way to school. So I know.
Oh, shit. What were you listening to on
You
that?
were there.
Seriously.
I was
not that smart. I was still playing my parents' Super Tramp on the 8-track.
No, man. At that point, like, so I'll never forget the first time I heard Deftones 7 Words. It changed because, like, and this is something that makes it in the podcast or not, but this is something that needs to be said because there is a very small gap between Matt and I and Ted and I.
Yes.
And yet, at the same time, the music gender switched more between our gap than it has in the gap between us and now. And I will prove it.
Okay.
My brother was born a year and a half earlier than me.
Okay.
He can sing every rock album, song ever. He can sing them all.
So give me an example.
And yet you ask him, no, I won't even give you an example.
Okay.
But I will tell you what he says about Nirvana and Pearl Jam
Okay.
and Soundgarden.
Okay.
I hate them.
Oh,
Why?
sacrilege.
Because he didn't, and I'm telling you, like, and this is something that needs to go out there. There's a weird divide between the 80s butt rock and when Nirvana and everyone came across, where it was literally lines drawn in the sand, where it was like my brother, who is a year and a half older than me, can sing. Not them all, but you put a Nirvana song on, he's like, this is crap.
He just wants his
Yeah.
rat or whatever.
I don't know any Rat songs.
I didn't
No
like
way.
I
You
didn't
don't know any Rat songs.
I know Rat. I don't listen. I did not listen to music. My first two.
What was your older brother listening to?
Def Leppard. He was listening to the old Metallica. I actually got in a fist fight with my older brother because I said new Metallica sucks, and he's like, "I like new Metallica," and I'm just like, "But it's fucking sucks." And so, that's what they listen to, and yet they don't listen to what I listen to. But yet, I like Smashing Pumpkins. I like Radiohead. I like. These bands that came across in the 90s, and even though that they may be different from what they're listening to now, there was never a divide between literally 2 years. If you ask someone who is 44 versus someone who is 42, do you like Bon Jovi or Deftones? What are they gonna say?
Do you know why I didn't like Nirvana?
Because you're old.
Because they were ripping off Husker Du, because they were ripping off the Pixies.
Yeah, but
because
they-
they were ripping off the
Yeah, but they
Meat
told you.
Puppets. Yeah.
But they told you they
David
were.
Bowie.
Yeah, they did.
That's a difference.
They owned up to it.
They
That's
told you
correct.
they were. They didn't try to rip it off and pretend like they weren't. They told you like even the one of the greatest albums of all time was Nirvana doing the Unplugged session with MTV.
Yes, with the Meat Puppets.
And half their
yes.
fucking album is stolen, but every single time he was
awesome.
done,
Yeah.
what did Kurt Cobain say?
You'd just be like, all right.
Yeah, we stole that one. We stole that
Yeah.
one straight
Yeah,
from.
this comes from the Meat Puppet
Yeah, we
Brothers.
stole that one straight from.
These guys right here that nobody's paying attention to.
So give them that versus someone else who
No, they
ripped
deserve
off
credit, like,
who ripped
totally.
off Sparks for how many years? And I didn't even know.
Everyone's been ripping off
Yeah.
Sparks. So should we wrap it up?
Yeah.
And on the next one, we'll cover the rest of the album. Yes.
You're the boss. I'm just here. I'm here to smoke Matt's weed.
Well, I'm here to have another drink, and my drink is diminishing.
Is that just because your favorite song's coming up next? Is that what's going on here?
What is it?
Thank God it's not
Okay,
Exodus.
yeah. That is my favorite song on the album. It's Russell's greatest singing, and we will take it up from there on the next episode. Thanks, guys. That was
funny shit.
that was
What you do, dick around, I will do. I don't care what you do, I'll dick around next to you. But all I do now is dick around. All I do now is dick around, dick around.
keep going.
And I think, the point
Prepare mentally.
I don't know much,
the point of
but I know I love you.
the outline is
Let
that
me
it can go off
be
in tangents.
All I need to know. I'm sorry. What?
And that may be all I need